Yat she Chance Foster and Shia Tana Zahni and Shle Billagana Bashes Chin is a Lana Dash Che Billagana Dash Nella. Hello everyone, my name is Chance Foster and I am Tango Clan from Talani Lake, Arizona. Currently, I'm the Regenerative Economies Intern at Talani Lake Enterprises. As some of you may know, wild onions are growing all over the Navajo Nation right now. So I thought it was a great time to share my knowledge and experience with wild onions. In Dinetah, wild onions are called Ochin. They are one of the first plants to come back in the early spring, and they are also one of the traditional plants that our people use to sustain themselves during their long journeys. So I'll go over harvesting, preserving, and cooking with wild onions. The main thing I wanted to address as far as harvesting is respect. This is important because it gives you an opportunity to make a connection with Nehiyama'a's son, our Mother Earth. Personally, when I'm out harvesting, I feel this sense of comfort and belonging. And I think this is because I'm not alone. I'm actually out there surrounded by relatives. Long ago, we spoke the same language. We could communicate with the plants. We could communicate with the animals, the wind, and the sacred spirits that guided us. We were in harmony because of K'eh. That being said, it's recommended na dant lagai or tadatin, white corn or corn pollen. Should be offered in the morning or even to one of the types of plants that you are harvesting. However, not the one that you will actually pick. Before we get into the actual technique of harvesting, I wanted to talk about searching for wild onions as well. When searching for wild onions, keep in mind a few things. They're actually found in sandy soils and they grow in patches. So upon finding a patch, it's best to survey the area to determine if there's an abundance or if it's scarce. Again, it's out of a respect for the future generations. If there is an abundance, a good rule of thumb is to pick one, leave one. If there is not an abundance, if it is scarce, please find a more abundant patch. Lastly, all plants have a life cycle, and this cycle typically ends with the flowering, where the plant puts all its energy into producing seeds to reproduce. During this stage or after, most plants will not taste the same, so it's recommended to pick before the flowering. If for some reason you feel the need to harvest a flowered plant, it's best to cut and drop the flower to give it a chance to reproduce. Ones that haven't flowered yet, so I can show you a little technique. This one's a good one. So you're gonna make a V, and you're gonna dig on the side of the onion here until you feel the bulb. The ground's really moist. Smells so good. Out of that one. And I just use a V with my fingers and dig right beside the onion until I fill the bowl. Some of them go down really deep, others don't. So once you've picked your fair share, there's a number of ways to use them. I think they're best eaten fresh. However, a great way to keep them in your kitchen all summer and possibly into winter is to preserve them by drying. Our people use this method to keep a reserve of food that would last them through a rough winter, and today we can still use this method. I used a store-bought dehydrating machine, but sun drying is just as effective, although it might take a little longer. So to start, peel the outer layer of the onion, wash them. I decided I would separate the stems from the bulb, so that's what I did. And I laid them on the dehydrating trays, careful not to overlap them. I ran it overnight into midday the next day, so it was approximately 18 to 24 hours. Once it was dry, I transferred it to a bowl and crushed them into smaller pieces, and then I put it into a mason jar for keeping. To use them, simply add to any dish just as you would a spice, and it will essentially rehydrate it. So now my favorite part. I'm going to show you all how to make a wild onion soup. And the ingredients consist of 1 cup of wild onions. It can be dried or it can be fresh. 1/4 cup of wild parsley. 2 tablespoons of paprika. 1 teaspoon of garlic. It can be minced or powder. And then 1/2 cup of roasted white cornmeal. The only step in the cooking process is to add the mixture to boiling water and stir with a whisk to avoid the white corn from clumping. Feel free to add any meat or vegetables, even pasta, to this. It can be used as a base or just eaten as is. Another recipe I wanted to share with you all is wild onion biscuits. And I think almost everyone knows how to make biscuits from scratch. So this is another food that you can add the savory taste of wild onions to, and it will be so delicious. To begin, put 2 3/4 cup of flour into a bowl, as well as 1 tablespoon of baking powder and some salt to taste. You're gonna go ahead and mix this mixture well, and then you're gonna go ahead and add 1/4 cup of oil. Once this is mixed well, you'll go ahead and add 1/4 cup of wild onions that are minced. After that, you'll go ahead and add the milk. You'll need 1 1/4 cup of any type of milk. I used almond milk. Be careful here to not overmix once you add the milk. This could result in less fluffy biscuits. Once the dryness of the flour has all been absorbed in your mixture, go ahead and separate and just plop it right on your pan. And these are really similar to what's called drop biscuits. There's no perfect shape to them. Just go ahead and plop it on the pan and throw it right in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my video, and I strongly encourage you all to go outside and reconnect with your plant relatives, reconnect with Mother Earth. Take a deep breath. Remember your cultural teachings. Be safe out there, everyone.